This podcast is brought to you by our Patreon supporters. If you'd like to help expand our programming, head to patreon.com/talkstarwars and become a TSW patron. You'll receive exclusive podcasts, access to a VIP Facebook group, monthly prize draws, Facebook Live sessions, and much, much more. Head to patreon.com/talkstarwars and become a TSW patron today, and the Force will be with you always. How is everyone this week then? Ian's still there. The cocktail DVD didn't scare you off. Okay. Everyone alright this week? How's the Patreon thing suiting everybody? Is it working out okay? I'm quite pleased with the way everything's gone. I'm also quite pleased with the way we've, I haven't checked it today, but all the Commonwealth podcasts changed their indexing in iTunes this week, and we all jumped right up the rankings to get a little bit of publicity. I don't think it'll last very long, but I think it's going to be good. Katie just watched the original Blade Runner. The obvious question now is which version, because there's like 5 different cuts. Andy, no, you've got to migrate. What do you mean, Andy? Ian loves the Patreon. That's good, thank you. Andy, are you up to speed with everything we've done over there so far? This is where the, obviously where the Daily Pod is, which got, Stephen, I don't think Stephen's on the live, but Stephen at Roku Depot gave me such a great review on the site today. Oh, Podbean. Yeah, I've been talking to the Podbean today about getting that feed pulled, but I'm not sure if that means you won't be able to access. I don't think that means you won't be able to access your RSS, because I've added my RSS into the iTunes app, and if that app does it, you bet your bottom dollar anyone will do it. I'm just asking them to make sure that feed is no longer public, because that is not cool. Francis is on. Hello, Francis. Tim's on. Hello. I can't see everybody. Kyle, Nathan. Ah, that's good. Hey, Tim. How are you, my friend? Just been listening to you this evening. There's Adam. There he is. Hello, Adam. How are you, sir? Ruby's video has been really popular, Adam. Hello, Francis. Ruby's. There was a. Did you see the feedback I put in the Facebook group, Adam, from Pokemon Giveaway Monthly? I think it was the channel. Thought Ruby was great. I'm sure you'll be able to get it, Andy. I'm sure it'll be fine. Very well, good sir. Tim will be joining us again on this month's TSW Comics, which means I have to start reading, because I've only read Dr. Aphra this month. I'm well behind, so I've got some catching up to do. Yeah, Ad says Ruby's a star. Andy says Ruby's very cute. Well done, Adam. She's amazing. Really, really, really confident. Really impressive. Ian's got to shoot off now. He's got to read his son a story at bedtime. He doesn't want to hear Catalyst, apparently. You have to change that, Ian. Do some work. Thanks for joining us, Ian. It's good to have you as part of the group. Mark's asking, did I listen to Lost Stars yet? I think you know the answer to that, Mark. It's been one of the busiest weeks of my life this week. In the 2 years since I launched Talk Star Wars, this has been the busiest time for me and for it. It's I just don't know where the days are going. That kicking off Patreon was a big deal. Starting the daily podcast and working out the workflow for that so that I can get everything done to a decent standard. Obviously getting Mark's podcast into iTunes. It's been insane. It's been crazy. I'm looking forward. Oh, and I'm prepping for... I've got a break coming up, so I'm prepping a bunch of content for that. And because the guys and I are having a hard time syncing up our schedules, Thursday nights aside, it's meaning I'm probably going to have to do some stuff solo to fill some of the schedule while I'm gone. Adam says it's wonderful and looking forward to seeing more children do their reviews on TSW Juniors and showing off their fave Star Wars toys. Totally agreed. Yeah, there are a few kids in our ecosystem, so they've got an opportunity to get involved. And it says, honestly, mate, I don't know how you do it. I've been wanting to produce content for TSW, but I don't have enough weeks in the day. I know the feeling, mate. It is, I mean, I just don't do anything else. I've still got PS4 games here, the Star Wars Lego that I bought ages and ages ago, the intention of producing something for TSW Games. Not even taken it out of the cellophane. Adam saying, fingers crossed if tickets go on pre-sale Monday. It's looking likely. It's looking likely. I'll see what I can dig up tomorrow. Got some cool stuff to talk about on tomorrow's daily already. So quite looking forward to that. They're also going to be a part of tonight's thing. Tim says, I don't mind pitching in where I can for a recording with a voice and opinion. Thank you, Tim. It's very difficult to get a schedule synced up around the globe. I mean, Nathan says, hey, Kyle, got your strategy for sneaking away with the family on Monday to watch the trailer? Oh yeah, because it's your is it Independence Day on Monday? Someone has to sneak off. Yeah, I'm having a hard time sort of scheduling everything. Now Matt Keegan, Paul and myself had to get a telephone conference or a Skype conference together a couple of days ago, or was it yesterday? I don't even know. There's Corey. Oh, it's Thanksgiving. Yeah, I think it was yesterday. We had a conference call for Hindsight to take Hindsight the next. So we'll have some news there soon. We're taking Hindsight to the next level. So there was a conference call, but with it being the end of Matt's day and the start of ours, it was very difficult to get everything synced up. But we got some quality time together. We had some technical glitches, which for once weren't my fault. But we changed the Facebook page and things like that ready for what's coming next for Hindsight. So busy time. Yeah, Nathan says he knows Corey's found a loophole to getting away from the family. Andy says he's been smashing out the Nerd Room and Tumbling Saber podcasts. Excellent shows. Stephen's just cried off the podcast this evening. So by the time the trailer airs on Monday Night Football, Cole says he'll have the house to himself. But if it doesn't, if it sneaks out early, the whole family will be transfixed because everyone's fans. What a wonderful household. Katie's eating a pizza. Update. Yes, Ad says it's crazy and cool that we're literally sat across the globe chatting right now. That's the thing. I've just this week produced a bonus episode for, I do these promo episodes every month to sort of try and advertise the VIP program now, Patreon. I've just recorded one this week. And the intro to the bonus episode is me just talking about what Patreon is and what the VIP community is, what this community is, what the Commonwealth is, and how getting involved with us and joining our Patreon gives you access to Star Wars fans all over the world. I think it's just amazing that that's the fact. This little idea 2 years ago has become this global community of Star Wars fans. It's wonderful. Ed says he's loving Tumbling Saber. And Mark says he's got a great interview lined up for the Toy Box tomorrow. Superb. Won't be me this week, unfortunately. I'm out stupid o'clock doing the day job. But I must say, like, I had a pop at Steve on here last week, and I was, it's all in good jest. But now Steve won't be recording with us this evening. That means my editing will go very, very smoothly, and the beep won't have to be used quite so much. Paul said he's just arrived at the old people's home. He's recording from his parents this evening. Something to do with his fancy new car getting a full-on service. Oh, Katie says, where's the thumbs down button? Clean shaven Mark, thumbs down. Yeah, the beard had to go at the weekend. I was instructed by my owner. We had a couple of events at the weekend that I needed to look smart for. So the beard had to go, unfortunately. There is no distance between friends of Star Wars, and this group of VIPs/patrons is truly incredible. So good to hear today. All subscribers moved over to the new format. Great success. There, a couple of people dropped off. I'll be perfectly honest. I was talking to Matt about this yesterday. We had a couple of members of the community disappear, but they were largely silent. I don't recall seeing them in the group. They rarely interacted in the group, so they didn't respond when I sort of prompted about coming over to the Patreon campaign. Katie says, what do you do for a living, by the way, Mark? Well, I'm a technical manager for a theatre chain, and for the past couple of years I've been almost seconded, I guess, into a role that focuses on licensing. If you find yourself falling asleep as I'm talking about this stuff, that's because it's incredibly boring. Has anyone, Dave Donovan says, has anyone listened to A Certain Point of View? Problems, many, many problems. Remember, it's soft canon, Dave. Andy says, Mark sits on his arse and does bugger all day. True. True. There is no snappy comeback for that, Andy. Yeah, fair enough. It's yeah, it can be. I love what I do. I have to admit, I love what I do. I don't feel like it's work. There are elements of what I do for a living that can be frustrating, but yeah, I do find it challenging. Dave says, "Oh, is it? I didn't know that. Thank you. The main problems are with a big hit of stories, and that's good to know." Yeah, Pablo said, just treat them as stories and don't try to fit them into canon anywhere, which don't know how I feel about that. Soft canon. This whole unified canon thing seemed ambitious from the start, especially with the torrent of content that they're putting out. What time we got? The tidal wave of content that's coming out. It's going to be very, very difficult, and I do think that they're running some real risks in there with things like casting John Hamm in the boat as the voice of Boba Fett in that story. I just really think that they're taking. It's just like poking the bear, isn't it, with the things they're doing at the moment, and saying that there are things out there that are soft canon when we're all just focused so hard on people. You mean people, Mark? Yeah, we're so focused on getting this canon thing to tie together, and little things start tripping themselves up, like the Yoda's lightsaber is the big thing at the moment. Any early The Last Jedi viewings for you, Mark? This time round, do you think? Yes. There's problems with that too, as it relates to the Yoda story and ObiWan story and the Palpatine story. The rest of it. It's peak Star Wars. Need to put A New Hope era to bed now permanently. Yeah, I don't know when that's going to happen. But I think you're right. I think it is time to sort of move away from that. There's this nice big period of time between the two trilogies, the original trilogy and the new trilogy. There's this nice big fat period of time with all the stories we want to hear about. Labouring over that New Hope era is probably not going to do him any favours in the long run. Nathan says, apparently the final story is the Will story, and that's a framing device for the rest of the book. So maybe these stories are all in-universe perspective. That's interesting. Nathan, there's a book coming out very soon that tells a lot of legend stories about Luke, I believe. And I think it's a bunch of kids on a trip to Canto Bight, I think, on some sort of transport. And they're spinning tall tales about Luke. So the story group have found a way through that mechanism to tell new Star Wars stories that don't corrupt canon in any way, because they are in-universe stories that are being told. Hearsay, the sort of stuff that makes Luke a legend in Rey's mind. Right, Kyle says, who wants to bet that the next version of Location's book with the Yoda lightsaber discrepancy is revised in the next edition and no more lightsaber? Yeah, dollars to donuts, Kyle. The whole story, don't build your hopes up. Oh, the Will story, don't build your hopes up. Are you done with it, Dave? Did you get the audio book, Dave? Tim's got to go, everybody. Thank you, Tim. Thanks for stopping in. Yeah, I'll talk to you on Monday. Stick your notes on that shared notepad and we'll put some show notes together. I maintain that is not necessarily a contradiction. The Will story, Nathan? Or the Yoda lightsaber? Which part? Paul, are you still in the group as well? Steve's not joining us, by the way. Dave says, I did, as in listen to the audiobook, and I'm saying nothing but frustrating, but two amazing stories in there. Is the Yoda and ObiWan story one of the amazing ones? Because that I really like that. The lightsaber. I don't think it was Yoda's in the comic. That's interesting. Nathan, do you think that might have been an act at propaganda? I'm going to have to go back and watch Revenge of the Sith and see what happens to Yoda's lightsaber. I'm pretty sure he doesn't leave the Senate building with it. But when he jumps into Bail's speeder, I think he's pretty much unarmed. But you think it might be some sort of propaganda on the part of Palpatine? I mean, that would be an easy retcon for the story group, wouldn't it? Just to say it was just Palps building his part up. But how easy would it have been for the artist just to draw any lightsaber? It doesn't have to have been Yoda's. So bold, so risky. Right. I'm going to have to start wrapping up so that I can get ready for the podcast. So has anybody got anything else they want to say before we wrap up? Adam says Yoda left his saber behind after the defeat with Palpatine. Yeah, I thought that was how it went. Andy says, who's Yoda? He's like yogurt, just a little bit more serious, a little bit less Mel Brooks. So we've got another Ruby video going out on Tuesday. Will there be another one soon? Thank you, Ads. I got your question, Ads. I've got everybody's questions over the past couple of days, and those of you who have sent in multi-part questions, expect to hear at least one part on the show, and then I'm going to roll some over because I've already started to put the response when I said, "Have we got any questions?" was dramatic. So I've already started putting together next week's show notes. So thank you very much for that, and everybody's emails will make it to the show at some point, even if they are rolled over, so that we don't end up with a show full of one topic. They're often rolled over, so that's what that's about. I'm not ignoring anybody. Right, I'm going to love you and leave you. Thank you very much for joining me this evening. I'm glad this went a little bit better than last week. If anybody's got any comments that they want to send in, I'm still quite keen to do like a little listener comms on the daily podcast. So if anyone's got any comments or questions or anything that they want to send me in for that, I will do that. Requests. My days at work are getting longer, so can you please try and elongate the podcast for Monday, please? And thank you. I'm trying to bookend Mondays now with the priority release at the end of the day. You'll get the main show, the daily show, the priority release at the end of the day. So I'm trying to spread it out through Mondays, mate. Adam says Ruby's going to do more videos at the weekend. Yes. Excellent. I approve. Okay, I'm going to shoot off. Thanks very much, everybody, for joining me, and I'll speak to you all tomorrow in the daily. Cheers, guys.